I saw the last Harry Potter movie this year, and I've actually always been a huge Harry Potter fan. I've read all the books, and actually thought about going and seeing all the movies at once in a week-long series, but unfortunately, as a mom, I couldn't take that much time away from my kids, but it was great to finally see the ending, and I thought they did a really good job.
I read that really had an impact on me was a book called A Fine Balance, which is a long book, about 600 pages fiction, and it's about the emergency in India in the 1970s. And
well, our family just got cable for the first time in our entire life, and my wife and I are very devoted HGTV fans now, to the point where it's addictive.
Okay. So my great summer blockbuster success was seeing Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And for anyone who is a fan of Charlton Heston and the original film, it was a total hoot because there are a couple moments where they do sort of explicit evocations of the original, whether it's a toy of the Statue of Liberty or a clip of Heston in the original movie playing on the TV screen in the new movie. It's really self-aware and funny and sort of...
I'm reading a book called Ratification, which is actually about the debate when the Constitution was first presented to the states for their approval.
Okay, so a book that I read this summer was What to Expect When You're Expecting, because I'm expecting.
I read Marley and Me and can totally relate due to having a 3-year-old lab, and but not quite as mischief as Marley.
I read Patti Smith's book, Just Kids, and I'm a Patti Smith fan, so I found the book very interesting. It also gives you a lot of interesting insight into what the 60s were like in New York City.
The book that I read this summer that I most enjoyed is The Dome by Stephen King. He's one of my favorite authors, and it is an exhilarating fictional story of a town that becomes enveloped in an invisible dome. No one can get in and no one can get out.
You know, I saw a movie that had, it wasn't the greatest movie, but it was the movie that had the most effect on me. It was this movie called Cave of Forgotten Dreams by Werner Herzog. It was just incredible because they discovered this cave in France that has these intricate, very intricate paintings that are 30,000 years old, and it just completely makes us rethink the history of civilization, the timeline. Anyway, you should go see it. It's really an amazing film.
Sarah Bakewell's A Life, Montaigne's, her biography of Montaigne was a beautiful exploration of the brilliance and philosophy of Montaigne. And then I saw an unbelievable documentary called Deep Water about Donald Crowhurst. And I'll say no more about it, but it's...
In the past, I've tried to tackle books that everyone says I'm supposed to read, even if they're deep and dark. So this summer I made an effort to do young adult literature, since I'm a middle school teacher, and it was really fun. So I just did a bunch of like fantasy that are on these lists of kids are loving them, but adults could love them too. So I did a little young adult literature throughout the summer.
A book that I read this summer was The Book Thief. And
well, I had to reread some books, and so rereading The View from Here by Brian Keith Jackson was wonderful. It just reminded me why I loved it so much the first time. And then having some of my future students in African American literature who read it come up to me and express how excited they were or how much they liked it just helped me realize that it was a good choice.
So my favorite movie that I saw this summer was Harry Potter, because I went with my nieces and nephews, and it was an exciting way to finish the whole story and to see Harry and Ginny and Ron and Hermione's children off to Hogwarts. It was very exciting.
I was part of a book club that read Shane and Gone with the Wind, and then we watched the movies of Shane and Gone with the Wind, and that was
Jen gave me a book called Cutting for Stone, which is an absolutely fascinating story, and I also read The Life and Legend of Willie Mays.
I did go to see The Help, the movie. I read the story, I read the book a couple of years ago, loved the book, went to see the movie, kind of a little apprehensive if I was going to be disappointed, because you know how movies can be. And as I looked around the auditorium, there were these clusters of women, mixed racial clusters of women. Every group of white women had some women of color in their group, and I knew that they were going to go out and discuss this movie, I'm sure.
A couple of weeks ago, I saw The Help.
I'm reading The Help right now.
And I loved it. I can't wait to read the book. Can I borrow the book when you're done?
Yes.
First is The Fall of Rome by Martha Southgate, one that we're going to adopt for some American literature classes this year, and I've been in contact with the author and her agent about getting her to Blake.
Tell me, Cynthia, would you talk about a book or movie you love reading and watching this summer? Or
Yes.
watching this summer?
Yes, I saw the movie Super 8, and it was a fabulous, fun, endearing, sweet movie about kids who were making a movie, and they were so smart, and they were such good actors, and there was a great alien, and it was wonderful. Super 8, go see it.
I agree.
I read a book called Incognito this summer, and it is a book about the brain. I read lots of books about the brain, and it's a lot about how what you think you're doing might not be what your brain is actually wanting you to do. And
I read a biography of Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle obviously is near and dear to my heart as a baseball coach.
Two of them actually that had a big impact. One was called Blindside. The second one was a movie that was made from a book called The Help.
I read an awesome book this summer called Purple Hibiscus by Adichie. Is that
I
right?
read several, but one that comes to mind is Audacity of Hope by Barack Obama.
Mine, if it would be, I'm gonna have to stick to a movie.
What did you? Oh,
I'm gonna have to go to two Harry Potter movies.
Oh, I saw one of them.
I gotta say they finished out that series.
Oh yeah, yeah.